Nurchio, he's actually been showing up in the past like 3 or 4 lands. It's been really cool. I remember he was there as a viewer. He was there like at the event. I think it was last year, the beginning of last year, and people bet him like, "Hey, look, next time there's a LAN, play." He's like, "Okay, okay," and he played, and he wasn't looking too bad. The VODs are on our channel. The VODs are on YouTube. It's really cool, like seeing an old foreign hope that used to be so active back in the day return. Not fully return to the pro scene, but, you know, be active once again. It was nice. It was nice. Meanwhile, here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern. We are here in the grand finals of the KSL number 21. We have the red Zerg player from the land of South Korea representing CranKy Z Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Team Abydos. It is NightMare. Papi. The Polish player Papi, of course, of course. Yeah, has been really cool to see. Meanwhile, we are here in game number 1 of our grand finals. Haven't been able to cast Dark today until now. Feels good, man. It feels like there's been a hole inside me. I've been missing Dark all day today. And now he's here to fill that up. Oh. Hatch gas pool. Hatch gas pool opener here from Dark. Everything's looking normal. Everything is looking standard. Back at home, NightMare setting up for his own gate expand as well. Very economic opener. There are some players that go a little bit safer, especially on smaller maps, and they go for a gate cyber expand. NightMare just being very economic. So we do get into Ancient Cistern. Ancient Cistern, of course, one of the larger maps in the map pool. It's big, it's huge, it's wide open. As a result, it can be difficult for a Protoss player to be too active on the map. Dark has been very fond of a certain style in this map as well. I'm not saying he's going to do it this game, but Dark, he has been playing around a lot with this mass link style on Ancient Cistern, where you're hyper aggressive, and because of how aggressive you are, and because of how many links you're making, you're actually on a lower drone count, but you're keeping the Protoss player contained to their 3 bases, and you're taking up into Hive behind it, and you actually get into Hive at around like a 70 drone count, as you do squeeze in a couple of drones here and there, and you can go into ultras. But the game may not last that long. We do have NightMare going for something very aggressive here. He's going for a Twilight Council opener, not a Stargate. A Stargate typically indicates a 3rd base, so whenever we see a Stargate opener, we see it's very macro, very standard, very meta, just because it's what you do if you want to take a fast 3rd. But a Twilight Council is something quite different. With this, we are staying in gas. We haven't thrown down a Robo yet. There it is. It's going to be a Dark Shrine opener. Again, if it was going to be Glaive Adepts, we do typically pull out of gas. We don't need that much gas to go into Glaive Adepts, so it is going to be DTs instead. Now, this is a good way to get early game map control. It can do damage, sure, but for the most part, Dark shouldn't be skipping his spores. As the game goes on, in a couple of seconds, Dark is about to realize, hold up, this isn't a Stargate. This is not a Stargate opener. And there's like a mental checklist that he's going to be picking away at. And there we go. First spore is on the way. He is getting ready. He's going to realize it's a Twilight Council opener, and it could still be Glaives, sure, but it could also be DTs. And it's hard to distinguish between the two of them. There are some Zerg players that are greedy, and they decide to skip their spores. But we can see Dark isn't one of those players. He is being safe, and he gets 1 spore in his main. His natural and his 3rd are exposed, yes. But we'll see if he throws down additional spores. We'll see if he is going to be prepared for that. The Lings of Dark did fan out. He was getting eyes on whether or not there was a 3rd base. He sees that there is none. He's going for a 4-minute Roach Warren. Very safe Roach Warren. This is the timing that you want against Glaive Adepts. And there we go. Additional spores are on the way. The Dark is getting ready for those DTs. Or for the potential of DTs. Prism is zooming across the map. We have another spore on the way here at the natural. So Dark is basically covering his bases, making sure he's able to defend against whatever opener his opponent has. Lings are pushing out. Third base is gonna get spotted and could even be denied. Uh-oh. That's a lot of Lings. That's a lot of surface area, and we're gonna be forcing a cancel on this base. At the same time, DTs are across the map. We do have Queens in position. The Dark Templar have revealed themselves, and they may get a Queen. Maybe. As there are spores, and yeah, the DTs, they don't find any damage. Dark completely shutting this down. Denies the third, denies the DTs. Denies any kind of damage. Oh god, and even the Prism is under threat, no! 1 HP. 1 HP on this Prism. Oh my god. NightMare barely escapes, barely survives, but he's stuck on 2 bases. And as he throws down 4 more gates, this is looking like a 2-base all-in. Oh boy. Meanwhile, the Lings, they did get a surround, and I believe that was a kill. Yep, they killed 1 Archon. That was 2 DTs. Roaches are in production. Dark getting ready to deny the third base once again. I'm unsure if NightMare wants to saturate this base. It looks like he will. He is oversaturated. He's making more probes. So NightMare, he is going to be expanding, and he's actually going to be saturating this third base. He has a lot of gateways to work with, though. He is going to be going for Charged Archon. But it's going to take a while for this to really kick in. As Lings, they go first round, and they find some sentries. Don't quite get the surround though. They do force a warp in. Dark, he sees all these zealots, so this could only be charge. So he's aware of the army composition of NightMare. He's aware of the Charge Archon. We should be throwing down a Baneling as soon. Ling Roach isn't bad. Banelings do make it easier though. As for now, just Ling Roach here from Dark, just splitting up between his bases, deflecting any kind of push. And Dark is cutting workers. He's stopping working production here at 58. He's making nothing but roaches. Roach speed has kicked in, and he's going for his own massive push here. The army of NightMare not quite ready for this. Good force fields. Does stop the tide. But this third base is so exposed. We do have a shield battery. We do have an overcharge. The first 2 immortals do come out in time. And 2 immortals may be enough, but roaches are coming from behind. They take down the shield battery. They're taking down the immortals as well. The surround is real. And a good juggling out of NightMare. He's actually able to save the immortals. He saved one of them at least. But he loses everything else. The probes, the zealots, the sentries. And Dark isn't stopping. He's still making nothing but roaches. Third base is going to go down. GG gets called. And Dark takes game number 1. GG. Very solid performance there out of Dark. Completely shutting down the initial DT opener. Was a cheeky move. Was a cheeky move out of NightMare, but just was not enough. Or it just kind of fell on its face, right? 0 damage was done with the DTs. On top of that, the third was denied as well. So NightMare at the gate, he did stumble. Did have a hard time keeping up with Dark. But that was game 1, and a lot of game 1 did kind of fall on the lack of value that NightMare got out of his opener, and that was just an opener. You know, he can do so much more. He can go Glaive Adepts, he can go Stargate into Oracle, he can mix it up. And mix it up. So, I guess what I'm saying is, we can't really extrapolate too much out of that first game, just because immediately it was just a rough start for NightMare, you know, like the opener itself did hurt him, and it's not something that we should be seeing again. So, you know, we can definitely get more of a back and forth here in game 2 and game 3. And potentially game 4. Potentially game 5. Let's go. Oh, and I apologize. I think I had Ragnarok showing that entire time. My apologies. My apologies. It was dark. Ah, God. That's the worst thing about my biggest gripe about casting Ragnarok is that he has a different name in game, so I have to try to fix that. And I apologize. I apologize. As we are getting into this, and oh my God, we have a 12 pool. He's playing like Ragnarok. In the bottom right hand corner of Gressfarm, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Brodos representing Team Abydos. It is NightMare. Again, I apologize for having the wrong name on the screen. Yeah, I'm usually a little bit better with it, but I guess I'm a little bit out of it. Yeah, did miss that. God damn it. An entire game. Wasn't a long game, thankfully. But yeah, it is Dark versus NightMare. Oh, and here we go. Here we go. Dark going to be going for a proxy hatch across the map. It is a 12 pool into proxy hatch. The reason why Dark does this on Gressfarm, as you can imagine, no ramp. There is no ramp coming into the natural base, which means your natural is that much more exposed, that much more vulnerable to things like this. This is applicable on Gressfarm, on Ancient Cistern, on Royal Blood as well. I think those are the only maps. Oh, and not near Humanity. You didn't do it on that map. But yeah, the proxy hatch is upon us. We can see NightMare trying to respond here in time. If you remember, NightMare did deal with this build earlier today. He played against this against Ragnarok. He was able to defend beautifully, did delay his Nexus, did throw down some shield batteries behind this. But we'll see how well Dark can execute this. Lings are chipping away at the wall. Second Zealot should pop out in time. Oh, we actually go for the surround instead. We don't quite get it. It looks like Dark is going to be able to clean up at least one of these Zealots. He gets the other just barely as well. Was that quite worth it, though? Dark, he's not stopping link production. He is getting a natural base behind this. And he is now droning. He's transitioning. Gateway does go down. The Lings, they go for a surround as well. The shield battery is late. Uh-oh. Shield battery is late. A good juke there from NightMare, who's able to avoid the surround, but the shield battery is exposed. Spine Crawler is on the way. The droning that we saw from Dark was only for the spine. He's still all in. He's still committed. These Lings are not doing so well, though, against the Adepts. What's important, because the hatchery is done, we can't throw down shield batteries. There's creep. We cannot throw anything down. There is no forge either. This is snowballing out of control. NightMare doesn't have a robo. He's losing control of his natural. It is becoming too much. Another Adept goes down. Yeah, NightMare, he just didn't take this seriously. He was getting ready to expand. He thought that he had defended. He hadn't. Oh, Warp Gate isn't going to finish. Oh, no. Spine Crawler, it repositions. Every single pylon is going to be going down. No Warp Gate here for NightMare. He's trying to get gateways up and running in his main base, but it's going to take so long for that to happen. Cybercore is going down, which means that even if these gateways finish, we can only warp in Zealots. And we can't even warp in. They have to build slowly. Cybercore goes down. It's being rebuilt in the main. Lings are flooding in. There was no forge, no cannons, no shield batteries, no overcharge, no nothing. Oh. And GG gets called. Dark takes game number 2. With a 12 pull into a proxy hatch. Chi-chi. Chi-chi, well played. GG. And with that, now we're getting to game 3. And I wish the best of luck to NightMare. I don't want this to be a 3-0, Papi. Don't let it be a 3-0. But Dark, he is just so dominant. So powerful. Can NightMare fight back? I hope so. I hope so. Fight back, Papi. Fight back. Dark, he's a different kind of animal. He is. He is. Oh, God. Ready to be unleashed on the largest map in the map pool on altitude. Now, thankfully, this is not a good map for 12 pools, so our Protoss player should be feeling a little bit safer. A little bit. Here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of altitude, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. Up 2-0 in this best of 5 grand finals. Needs one more to become this week's champion. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Team Abydos. It is NightMare. I don't think NightMare respected that hatchery. Yeah, we mentioned it during the cast, how NightMare just didn't take it seriously enough. Which is a shame because we've seen him defend against it. Earlier today, we casted NightMare versus Ragnarok, and Ragnarok did the same thing. Ragnarok did go for a 12 pool into a proxy hatch, and NightMare, he delayed his hatch. Sorry, he delayed his Nexus. He threw down 2 more shield batteries. He started a Robo in the main. Like NightMare, he did defend very well against it when Ragnarok pulled it off. But we saw in the last game, I think NightMare, he just assumed that he had enough to defend. He just assumed that he would deal with it and he could transition out of it. Didn't realize that Dark was just making nothing but lings and was so very committed. And things snowballed out of control. It was almost like Dark kind of lured NightMare into a false sense of security. I think a lot of it also is because there are different variations of proxy hatch. I think that's something to bear in mind. There are different variations, and we saw that it's not like Dark sent drones across the map and he made spines immediately, for example. It was a slow death. It was like a slow, methodical execution of the build. And yeah, it felt like it crept up on NightMare, you know? Snuck up on him. Oh, from behind. So we're getting into our next game so far. Hatch gas pool from Dark. Nothing too crazy. See NightMare back at home going for his gate expand as well, so economic opener out of NightMare. Nothing out of the norm from Dark. Robe is just being annoying. Just going to be slipping in between the bases, just trying to get a read on what's going on. Lings are going to shoot this away, and we should be seeing Dark expand momentarily. We should be seeing a third base soon. Meanwhile, NightMare going for a standard opener. Stargate is upon us. This is a good map for the mid game, for the late game. If NightMare wanted to slow things down, this would be the map to do it on. Would be the map. As there's that third base from Dark. Yeah, no, Clone, you can't be too quick. You know, you don't want to rush into things, Papi, you know? Otherwise, you won't enjoy it. No one will enjoy it. Oh. Look, I'm getting ready for the cast later with Asher, okay? I'm getting ready for Asher. He was already getting rowdy this morning. He's getting rowdy. For those wondering, we will be casting another event later on. Couple of hours. We'll see how this does unfold. So far, oh, hello. We have an Oracle first into a Phoenix, of all things. Not a second Oracle, not a Void Ray either. We're going into a faster Twilight Council as well. This is interesting. This is looking like Lave Adepts. This feels like Lave Adepts from NightMare. Now, he is going to be expanding. He's going to be taking a third base. But this Phoenix is going to be looking to deny any kind of scouting from Dark. He's going to try to keep Dark in the dark and not be aware of what the follow-up is going to be. Show us the Glaive Adepts. There is no Forge. There is no +1. Behind this, the Oracle across map does get 2 drone kills. Very nicely done. There it is. Glaives are on the way. So this opener that NightMare went for is designed to bamboozle. It's designed to catch the Zerg player with their pants down, unawares. It is because of this third base. This looks normal. This looks like a standard build. This looks like it should be into +1 and blink or charge. This looks like a macro game, but it's anything but. It is anything but. These adepts have a lot of potential for damage. They can outright kill a Zerg player if Dark isn't able to piece together what is happening, if he's too greedy. Back at home, no Roach Warren. There's no Roach Warren. There's no Bailey Nest. Dark is droning quite happily. He's fully saturating his third base, and he may even work on a fourth, because that's the thing to do. That is the correct thing to do against a standard opener from the Protoss. Dark doesn't know that adepts are being amassed. Ooh, Ling does scout. Very important scout from Dark. He does see all the adepts. He should be getting ready back at home. He should be preparing. Lings are on the way. He's supply blocked, or he was a little bit supply blocked for a moment. Heavily droned up his third base. Lings are in production. Roach Warren now on the way. Oh boy. Base is going to be denied, but we can do so much more. We don't want to waste too much time here at the fourth. Adepts are shading on in. Not too many Lings to respond. We don't commit to the shade. Again, NightMare, he gave Dark a lot of time. And with that time, Dark has been able to amass a Ling army. We commit to the shade. Decent surround from Dark. And it looks like Dark is cleaning this up. There was a lot of potential with this. There was so much potential for NightMare. Spinecrawler finishes. Adepts are going down. He only gets 2 drones. I think NightMare was respecting Dark too much. I think last game NightMare, he didn't respect Dark enough, and here he respected him too much. He gave Dark a lot of time, a lot of breathing room to actually amass a Ling army. Like when you go for a Glaive Adept build like this, like you're on a timer. You gotta go. You need to get in there as soon as possible. Sure, he denied a fourth, but Dark is double expanding. Dark has map control. Blink is delayed. Dark is fine. And NightMare is forced to turtle. That's a flea beacon. NightMare, it looks like he has recognized that he has lost all map control and he cannot fight for it. So, or he can push out with Stalker, sure, but yeah, he's getting ready for Skytoss. Getting ready to turtle up and go into carriers. Oh boy. I don't blame him. I don't blame him just because he is behind. +1 is delayed. Blink was delayed. Stalker production as well because of Glaive Adepts. Because of our prioritization of Glaives. So NightMare is in a rough position. And trying to squeeze out carriers is a good way to come back in this game. Like, it's a good way to bounce back. It can be really unexpected. First carrier already on the way. And Dark doesn't know. He doesn't know. He doesn't need to know right now, to be fair. He's working on his own hive. Getting his 4th and 5th base up and running. And right now, Dark has the freedom, all the freedom in the world to drone and tech, which is why he's already got a hive on the way, which is why he's already saturated on 4 bases. Stalkers, they're poking in, but they can't really commit. They cannot commit. And with this, Dark, he can go into fast Vipers, he can try to go into Lurker production. He's got options. Now, the longer this game goes on, without seeing the carriers, the worse this is for Dark. Right now, it's still okay. Right now, we haven't hit critical mass. We only have 1 carrier. So, it's not the biggest of deals. But, Dark needs to recognize and realize what's happening before it's too late. Now, what I will say is that I'm pretty sure Dark is going to max and attack first. Like, Dark is on the brink of maxing out with Lingbane Roach Ravager. There we go, Ravagers are on the way. Baneling speed is about to kick in. Dark is going to hit first, and he's going to hit hard, and he's going to kill a base. He may kill the fourth. And in the defense, NightMare, we'll see if he shows his hand. Do have 7 probes going down. Nexus is going to be kept alive for now, but Dark is just backing off, getting reinforcements, going back in, and the carriers do reveal themselves. There are 3 carriers immediately. Spire is thrown down. And the problem is that NightMare can't counterattack. Because of how large Dark's army is, NightMare, he has to focus on defending back at home. Files are going to be connecting. Massive stage trap does go off on the Lings. As Dark rotates back around. Is again looking to trade, looking to dance with the army here of NightMare. Picks off a couple of these zealots. At the same time, we have Ling reinforcements in the 4th base as well. Dark is all over NightMare. Roach Ravager is being forced back, but the Lings are getting a lot of damage done here at the 4th. They're busting into the main, busting into the natural. Again, Dark just doing everything he can to buy time, to keep NightMare at home, and to get into Corruptors. Yeah, the 4th base is going to go down. 14 probes as well. And NightMare can't push out. If he does, he dies. If he does, he'll lose everything. So he's stuck at home, holding onto his 3rd. Spire is about to finish, and now we can make some anti-air. Now we have the tools that we need to deal with these carriers. Now the problem is, Dark is maxed. He can only make 4 Corruptors. The carriers are counterattacking. He needs to lose his army. He needs to throw things away. We need things to die. The carriers turn around? No shot. Oh my god. NightMare, he turns around with his carriers. He's giving Dark so much time. 13 more Corruptors are now on the way. Lings have died, and that's exactly what Dark needed. Lings, they bust into the main. Take down the Forge. Roach Ravager trying to push into the natural. And now we do have some anti-air. Now we have an answer. We have the tools we need to defend against the carriers. For a while there, things were looking a little bit scary for Dark, but he's fine. How many carriers do we have? We have 5 carriers. NightMare still stuck at home. And this time, Wave 3 is going to have anti-air. This time, we're looking for the carriers. We dive on forward. Ooh, the Biles will even connect as well. 1, 2, 3 carriers are going down. The ground army just being engulfed in Ling Roach Ravager. Dark has too much. And he just showed a clinic here of ZvP. GG gets called. Dark takes the series 3-0, and he's going to be this week's KSL champion. GG, well played. Congratulations to Dark. Very well played. Oh boy, we saw a wide array of builds from NightMare, but at every turn, Dark, he was able to respond in time. I say that here on Altitude, there was a lot of potential. I want to say that there was a lot of potential with the Glavedet build of NightMare. There were a couple of things working against him. One, it's Altitude. Altitude is the largest map in the map pool, and this Glavedet build specifically doesn't have a robo, which means it doesn't have a warp prism, which means you have to warp in back at home, and everything has to walk across the map. So it takes a little bit longer to execute this build, but it did go unscouted. Like, it took a long time for the Adepts. By the time they made it across the map, that was when Dark actually threw down his Roach Warren. So he only had, I want to say, like 9 Lings. I think he had 6 or 9 Lings and a handful of Queens to defend. And we saw that NightMare, he was more concerned about denying bases and less so about, like, really going all the way into a mineral line. NightMare, he felt very tentative. Like, he felt very unsure of himself, or a little bit scared of throwing everything away. So because of that, Dark was able to buy a lot of time and muster up a large enough army, and he completely shut down the Adepts. They killed 2 drones. It was like, what, 20 Adepts for 2 drones? Like, hey, it was Not a good trade. We saw NightMare trying to rush into Sky Toss. Because of how aggressive Dark was, because he maxed out, because of the early game, NightMare was just stuck at home. Couldn't really be active with his carriers, and GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Dark. Oh boy, I think this is his third victory. I think he's claiming his third win here in the KSL. So, really good stuff. Really good stuff out of Dark. And now I can get some breakfast. It's 4 p.m. It's 4 p.m. Breakfast would be nice. I'm gonna go get some food. Gonna go take a break. For those wondering, this is not our only cast today. We're gonna be live in 4 hours. Let me just double check. Yes, 4 hours from now, we're gonna be live again with a Polish offline event with the Chaos Tournament. So if you're interested in Polish StarCraft, if you're a fan of players like Laser, of Spirit, of Geralt, of Papi, how can you not be a fan of Papi? We talk about him all the time. Then yeah, check it out. Check it out. It's gonna be in 4 hours. It's gonna be a very long cast because it's an offline event. There's gonna be like lunch breaks like for the players. There's gonna be a massive bracket as well. It's going to be double elimination. From what I hear, before the finals, it's going to be a show match as well. I don't know what the show match is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be like Archon mode or 2v2 or like some old school players coming in. Not sure. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be a lot of fun. So definitely check it out. Definitely check it out in 4 hours. It's going to go all day. So, I'm in a really rough place. A really rough spot. I can either try to like sleep for a couple of hours, but the problem is that I also have to eat some food, and I think like eating food is gonna wake me up. Like, so I don't know if I'll be able to nap. I'll try. I'm gonna try to nap just because of how long the cast is gonna be. So I want to make sure I have like a high amount of energy for the tournaments. I don't want to be like falling asleep towards the end, especially for the grand finals. The finals that are going to be like at 4 or 5 a.m. my time. Like I want to be awake for it, so I'm going to try and sleep a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. Regardless, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Eat and power through it with coffee. Maybe. No. So yeah, going to be some good fun. Until then, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thank you so much for your support. Oh, we can, of course, pay out the predictions as well. Un momento. Getting ready to pay them out. What were the predictions looking like, by the way? Did anyone believe... Oh, never mind. Never mind. There we go. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the support. If you are interested in the KSL, in the tournament that we just casted, it is a weekly. Every single week, we are here with the Korean Starcraft League, so we have plenty of Korean Starcraft for you every single week. So be sure to follow us here on the CranKy Ducklings. We got you covered. If we ever don't cast this tournament live, we cast it from replays during the week as well. Just in case, so we do have you covered there. Otherwise, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to be giving another fellow StarCraft streamer a raid, so give them some love, give them some support. Going to be raiding Baby Links, a good friend of the channel, good friend IRL. So yeah, give him some love. Outside of that, again, we're going to be live in 4 hours. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, all that good stuff. ! Socials in the chat. We'll see you guys in 4 hours. 4 hours, Papi. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.